So we all watched Snow White as kids. Yes, yes. Okay. Now, that is my favorite Disney princess story, I guess you could say. But I was watching it the other day and I just got a few issues with it that I wasn't aware of in my childhood. So first off, right, so the story is presented as Snow White lives with her stepmother and she's an evil bitch, her stepmother, right? And she's vain and she talks to a mirror all damn day, right? And think about it, right? So the queen is this friendless whore, right? Who won't give the king any children for some reason. And so she gets mad at Snow White for being fine, right? But before this, we see Snow White like getting water out of a well or something, and the prince is up on the wall over there stalking her. Like, you're the fucking prince. Come down and talk to her if you think she's fine. Like, what's wrong with you? Another issue I have, just in general, is think about it like this, right? You get taken to the woods to be killed. The hitman doesn't want to kill you, right? Then the animals come and you get so scared that you faint, right? Now you wake up in a random ass cottage or whatever it is, right? Okay, so you're just sleeping, right? And you wake up. Angry, bashful, sleepy Doc. I would flip the fuck out. Like, what? I'm in a random ass cottage. With like 7 beds. She thought she was in an orphanage at first. Like, I don't care. I'm in a random house. I want to go back home. Let's fast forward, right, to when the queen starts making the concoction, right? She puts like an old hag's screams or some shit in there, and all, oxtails and pig's feet, all shit that black people eat. Like, and she mixes it up, and then she sees it bubbling, and she puts it in a glass, and she drinks it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, this is some Fear Factor ass shit. Like, and she drinks it, right? She's like, and I'm like, good for you, bitch. And she started looking at him, my hands. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen when you drank a serum that was gonna make you age 50 years? Then we get to the part where the queen actually attempts to kill Snow White. So she has this death juice, right? And she takes an apple and she dips it up in this death juice so that when she eats it, she's gonna go into like a death-like coma or whatever, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, if I were the queen, I would have taken like a flask or a beaker or like just anything and just filled it up with this death juice. And then when I saw Snow White in the woods, I would just waste that shit all over it. Yeah, bitch, what now? You thought you could be anything. Put it in her lotion, like infect the drinking water. Why does it have to be an apple? Skipping forward. So now Snow White's in the house and she sees the old lady and she's like, I'm just an old lady. Oh, I see you like to make pies. Let's see, I think your pies would be much better with my apples in there. So, after a little bit of conversation, Snow White now decides to taste this apple from this random ass old lady. Like, the old lady couldn't tell her where the apple comes from, like either like the tree where she got it or anything like that. She's just like, no, this specific apple will make all of your pies better. And the Dorks come, right, to attack the queen. Now I gotta beat her ass. And so the queen, instead of again wasting some death juice on the dwarves, or making a whole bunch of apples, I don't know, she runs up a cliff. Okay, she runs all the way up this mountain thing, and the dwarves are catching up, right? And so she's like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. Instead of using one of my spells, because clearly I'm a witch. Instead of using one of my spells, I'm gonna roll this boulder down, right? So while she's trying to dislodge the boulder, the lightning Okay, but get this. Lightning strikes right behind her onto the cliff below, and it breaks, and she falls, right? And I'm thinking, okay, the queen is wearing, I don't know, a black cape, gown, thing, cloak, right? So, I mean, lightning struck right there. I'm thinking the queen should have combusted, but I guess that death is too, obscene and evil for kids. But my absolute favorite part of this entire story is, so Snow White's asleep, right? And the doors, okay, they can't stand to bury her, so they put her in this glass casket and stand around it all day. The prince somehow notices that Snow White, who was in the woods forever, has eaten this apple and is now asleep, right? So he comes by to take a look, and he's captivated by this dead lady's beauty. So get this, right? She's supposed to be dead. He looks at her, goes, that's a fine dead bitch. And he opens up the casket and starts smooching her. Now, if I came to somebody's funeral, right, and saw this fine ass chick, right, and was like, she looking good, and I just opened the casket and started making out with her, would I not be drug out the church and like sent to jail or some shit? But it's okay when the prince does it. So the prince makes out with Snow White, and then when he's done getting his piece and he's busted a nut, he gets up and Snow White's like, why do I taste dirt? And it's supposed to be that he knows of her eternal sleep. Nope, he thought she was dead. Nope. Because if they all thought that she was alive, they would have just called her stalker up in the first place. Because I'm pretty sure Snow White had all the time in the world, to talk to them about it. I mean, a stalker is a pretty big part of your life. Like, you don't just have a stalker. Like, I would talk about that shit if I had a stalker. So I'm thinking, there's nothing to do with these 7 doors all day. So she's telling them her life story, and she has a stalker who happens to be the prince. So the animals are all happy, the doors are all happy that Snow White's alive again, and they almost immediately get married. I'm just surprised that Snow White has it so backwards. I mean, I didn't know that it worked like that. I didn't know that you could smooch dead girls and drink oxtail juice to turn old. And I certainly didn't know that being a stalker would pay off in the end.